Hey guys, welcome to A Fistful of Dice. My name is Matt. And in this video we're going to be talking about player free reign, or letting your players do whatever they want. The idea of the freedom of choice, the ability to do literally anything you want to do in the game world. Now, a lot of GMs strive to not railroad their players, meaning that they don't try to outright tell the players what to do and just lead them along a set path of objectives and goals and plot points. Rather, they have, the ideas in their head of the main arc, but really the players are free to do what they wish. But and this is called like a sandbox style game, where you can go anywhere, you can do anything, talk with anyone, go anywhere. But this can go too far. So I got a message from, I can't remember the guy's name, but I think it was Nathan. He sent me a private message on Facebook through the Fistful of Dice Facebook page, and he had a bit of a conundrum. And the conundrum was, my players are in this town. I've basically told them you can do whatever you want. You can go to any of these shops, any of these businesses. You can go visit with people. You can go try to collect quests. You can go to the store. You can go to the tavern, whatever you want to do. So the players decide they're going to go to the tavern, and the DM is like, okay, cool. And they end up going to the tavern, and they talk with some NPCs. They pick up some local rumors, some potential plot hooks. Things are going really well. And the GM thinks, okay, the players have, all of this stuff. They've interacted with some NPCs. They've got to kind of decompress from the quest. They're probably going to go to bed now. But the players say, well, we don't want to go to bed. We would like to go rob a store. And the DM says, okay. And they basically go about doing this, and through the course of this, letting everybody do whatever they want, the party gets split up. People are robbing a store. Other people are kind of sneaking up on and spying on the townspeople. And it's basically pandemonium. Just chaos. And the session goes completely off the rails. And when I say off the rails, I mean it in it just goes nuts. It doesn't necessarily, you're not trying to railroad the people here, but this is definitely the opposite end of the spectrum, where it's like, oh God, there's no organization, there's no order to any of this. It's just madness. And so how do you mitigate this? How do you have your players have free will, but they don't just go off? What's to stop them from just going off and murdering everybody and stealing everything and, usurping the king and, all of this stuff? What I told this guy was, your players need to understand that this is not a video game. This isn't Grand Theft Auto. They can't go do whatever they want with zero repercussion and just load the game when things go south. Your players need to understand that just as there is risk in going into a dungeon, just as there is risk in undertaking a dangerous quest, there needs to be risk in robbing a store, in spying on somebody, in prowling around in the night with weapons. I asked this guy, where is the town guard? Do they have patrols at night? Why wouldn't they notice people prowling around and breaking into a store to steal things? Did you make your players roll to sneak around? Or did you just say, okay, you robbed a store? The players need to understand that yes, you have free will. You have freedom of choice. You are able to do anything you want to do. You are able to attempt to do anything you want to attempt to do. But you have to understand that in this world, just as in our world, there are laws, there are rules, there are morals, there are ethics there are manners that will lead to repercussions if you do not abide by them. So yes, have your players attempt to rob a store. You could perhaps ask them, what is your motivation in wanting to rob a store? You're all good aligned and you've never had an inclination to rob anything before, so why now? But instead of saying, okay, you can rob the store, or no, you cannot rob the store, both of those are bad. Simply say, okay, you can attempt to rob this store, but please be aware that there is a town militia, that there is a group of guards that patrol the town at night, and that the punishment for burglary, for prowling at night, for spying on people, for hurting people in this town, for stealing things, that the punishments are severe. And that if you are found in the act of stealing, of doing these things, you are going to be at the mercy of the law. You may be imprisoned. You may get your hand cut off. You may die. They may execute you. You know, if we're talking fantasy medieval here, you know, people didn't really have a lot of qualms about, you know, cutting the heads off of thieves. So, your players have to understand that they are inhabiting a living, breathing world. This is not a video game. You can't load your game when things go bad, you know. In Skyrim, you know, if you try to do something and you realize, oh man, that didn't work. You know, I tried to steal this sword and now all these guards are trying to kill me. You just load your game. It's not like that in D&D. It's not like that in tabletop RPGs. Your players have to understand that their actions have weight. Their actions have meaning. And this isn't a bad thing. This is a good thing when your players realize, holy crap, I can really affect this world. You know, I can't just go into this store, steal everything, and expect the town to not be affected. The economy of the town is going to be affected. You are going to affect this business. And personally, you are at the mercy of the law because you have broken the law. Your actions, your motives, have very real meaning in this world, in this game. And if you want to roam around doing whatever you want, then you're going to face the consequences. Maybe not now, but at some point down the line, these actions are going to have repercussions. Okay? And this goes for actions that are stereotypically good, actions that are stereotypically bad, things that are morally ambiguous. It goes for murder, thieving, you know, violence. It goes for acts of charity, being a good Samaritan. Your players' actions need to and should affect the world around them. Because if they don't, you might as well all just be sitting around playing a video game. So in this instance, in the fine line between railroad and sandbox, in this kind of nice middle ground where you have plot points and a nice arc, but your players have freedom of choice and free will, can choose where to go and who to talk to and what to do. Your players have to realize that though they can do everything, or attempt to do everything, it's not necessarily always a good idea. That's going to be it for me, guys. Take care, and happy gaming all.